one who has one of these sheets right here in front of them, take that sheet, look beside your name, fill out, if you've got an office address, your personal address, and check your information and make sure it's accurate. Once that's done, pass it up to Matt around this way. We'll get over here. That's a sign-in sheet there, it's kind of back and forth. Anybody that's completed this, pull out your cell phones. Anybody that's completed what I've already asked you to do, go on and pull out your cell phone. If you've already written your name down, your address down, and your office down, you're done with the document. Let's move on to the next thing. Everybody in here wants to get out of here today. The way to do that is to listen, understand, and let me talk, not interrupt, and we'll be out of here in 2 hours. And some of you got bonds. This is kind of like going to TAPPA school. I go there, you walk out in the hallway, and every asshole out there goes, I've got a bond. I wish my boss would let me go out and make my bond today. Like, we've all heard that shit. So anyway, take out your phone, Google your county, bail bondsman, wherever your county is. For those of you that act like you don't give a shit, I would recommend that you go back to your bonds, look at where you were in the past, look at where you are today, and then look yourself in the mirror and ask what the fuck's wrong. Richard, where do you show up? Where does AAA bail bonding show up?
I don't know, my service is taking forever.
Okay, who's got service?
No service.
Okay, anybody else having service problems? Okay, Teresa, where do you show up? AAA bail bonding?
843 Center Street.
No, ma'am, I want to know where you show up. Is it Tennessee bail bonding that's first? Is it,
No.
what bonding company, what competitor of yours is number one?
Well, Tennessee would be.
Then the answer, so let's back up. How many of you in this room have ever had to do this? Raise your hand and the judge be right there. How many of you have ever had a lawyer ask you a question? Please raise your hand. Great, here's the first lesson I'm going to teach each of you. When a question is asked, only answer that question. For example, do you know what time it is? Yes. Don't go to the next deal and go, yeah, buddy, it's 11:05. They didn't ask that question, what time is it? They said, do you know what time it is? That's how we're going to get in and out of here really quick today. Now then, back to you, Teresa. Who's your number one competitor up there?
Tennessee.
Where are you? How many down?
2.
Okay, perfect. So we're in the top 3. Now then, tell me who else. Amy, are you in the top 3?
No.
Okay. Matt, can you please write that down?
Yep.
Her name is Amy. It's going to be Bradley County. You have a problem, where do you pick up, Jared?
Not even on the list, bro.
Okay, what county are you in?
Sequatchie County.
Sequatchie County. That's going to be Jared.
Tennessee and then Gary's.
Okay, so Tennessee and Gary's, they are our largest competitor over there. We know that, Jeanette. How about in Marion County? What are you seeing over there?
Gary's.
Gary's is your number one. How far down are we? All right, so how many of you now that has just looked on there didn't look at your Google reviews? Teresa, did you look at your Google reviews when you were on there? Jeanette,
Yes,
did you?
I did.
Great. Each one of you, go in there and put a review for yourself. Go in there right now and put a review. Not at all. Okay. So I've hired this guy 6 months ago to make sure that every district that we have is listed. He used to work in the Chattanooga area. He worked for the city down there. I'm going to explain to you a little more why you're not popping up. Stephanie, are you popping up?
No, sir.
Who's your competitors?
Freebird in Tennessee.
Where are you at on the list?
I'm not. I'm way down.
Daniel, what about you?
Not on there. What's that, emails?
Brianna, where you at?
Not on there.
Huh? Matt, you've got your work cut out for you.
Yep.
Okay, end of story.
Mhm.
Okay? That's your full position from moving forward. Whatever that means, whatever that takes, because here's what I'm gonna tell each and every one of you in the room. Do you know why you're here today? You don't.
Wants are changing.
Oh, great job. You're one of my newest people here. How do you know that? The rest of you don't, I'm not sure. What's the biggest law that's gonna change tomorrow?
Gotta play with that.
The percentage.
Damn. You know what? Do y'all know any other laws that are gonna change tomorrow?
Yep, alcohol law and some other shit.
No, Belmont.
Oh. No, well,
If you write a bond for less than 50% down.
Stop right there, because it's the same deal. Is there another bond that you're aware of that changes tomorrow? Yes or no?
I know there is, but I don't know what all it is.
Perfect. Is there another bond that changes tomorrow? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anybody in here that knows any other law except for the fact that y'all are gonna make more money?
Quarterly
What does that tell you?
There's a, I don't know which one it is.
No, you can't answer right now. I don't want you answering. You're gonna know the answers. You've sat beside me for 10 years. I know you know the answers. I'm wanting to know why the rest of the folks in this room don't know the answer, because all you really gave a shit about is your money. Why? Because that's what feeds your family, just like me. That's all that y'all cared about today, was that law. Not good, man. It's gotta be a two-way street here. Some of you do really, really well. Those of you that do really, really well are people that go to court. It's the ones I know for sure. If you go to court, you're relevant. If you don't go to court, and you're just kind of like that damn fish at the bottom of the lake sucking off the bottom, they don't appreciate that in the criminal justice system. What we're learning as of tomorrow, we have standards. We have a board that is going to be created in March of next year that's going to take on all complaints. I think it's the dumbest law that they created this year, because if you appeal it, you get to go back to the jurisdiction where the issue happened. So why would you not just allow that judge in that district and that district attorney to deal with it? Second of all, one of the things that is gonna change tomorrow is this 5%. That's the one that y'all are all worried about. Most of you in here aren't in a great position on Google. How many of you have I had, or have I talked to, or have I called multiple times? Please go get Google verified. Please go get an office. Please, I'm begging you, get an office. When you don't, it shows me number 2 again. You don't really give a shit. You just want the phone to ring. You're gonna sit your ass on the couch, and you're gonna go whenever it's convenient for you. What bullshit. Now, what about those people that write these bonds and send them in here, and they want Carmen to discharge? Who in here does their own discharging? Raise your hand. If you do not do your own discharging, meaning you're sitting your butt in court, and when they get 30 days in jail, you're not going into bail books and discharging that individual, when you print off that button, July the 1st, tonight, June the 30th, it's gonna show every bond that you're on that you've written. We're not liable for people that have been sentenced. The first thing that they're gonna do if they come in and audit you guys, they're gonna go down to the clerk's office. They're gonna ask you to pull your point of sale, hit print, and when those two documents don't match, what does it mean? Either A, you didn't do your job and take them off once they got a final discharge, or B, you stole the money and you still got it. There's only two. There's only two answers. So today, you're gonna have an opportunity as we move through this packet. If you no longer want to do your discharging, okay, you get to go to 35%. If you do want to do your discharging, you can stay at 37.5%. We don't have to move. You're gonna stay right where you are for you to do your job that we've partnered up on, that you've signed a contract for. But I'm no longer paying one of my people to sit in this office and do y'all's job. July 1st, I'm done with that shit. Either we're partners or we're not partners. No matter who you are, you're expected to do a few things. Hey, Nick, there it is.
Is that seat over there?
You can come up here and sit, bro. Matt, did everybody send this up to you? Do you have every one of these that's got offices in them? Just pass them down to your row and pass them up. Miss Peggy, if you'll come around here,
Yeah.
Matt will have each of them.
That's, he's gonna be in the area.
Yeah, I'll bring all around here so we can read these. Anybody that's filled this out, please pass it down, pass it up. Brianna, go get it, Jamie, go get it, hand it to Matt, please. Fill this out. Why this matters for everybody is because I'm gonna attempt to get y'all in office. Please quit talking. This is part of the damn problem. Nobody wants to listen to the guy who wears the collared shirt and you go, hey, that son just don't know what he's talking about. Don't judge that book by its cover, right? We know that, a couple of you in the room, for sure. The whole reason you're here is to make money getting in this building. And you talked about it up on the hill that day. It's the whole reason why we sat in front of each other. I tell each and every one of you, the whole reason why I meet you, that me and you are here today, is for you to make money for your family. Right? I mean, you talked about it. You and I talked about it. Well, guess what? I have a family too. Your mama loves you. Well, guess what? I love my daughters as well. I know you spend a lot of time with your children. You spend a lot of time with the folks in the community. Y'all do as well. Okay? Here's what's going to win starting tomorrow. If you don't have a damn office in your area, call Miss Peggy. Go find an office. If you don't give a shit about your job, keep doing what you're doing. Don't go get an office. Don't show up on time. Continue to get your ass whipped. It's really that simple. Because here's how they're going to find you. Now the playing field, folks, is level. It's level for the first time that I can remember in my career, 1992. It's level. If they do not comply with the 5%, there's a problem. Now, I alluded to it a minute ago. The state and all their infinite wisdom, they're not always damn smart. Because what's going to happen? What do we know about bell bonds? Hell, we don't like each other. I mean, what's going to happen? How many complaints do you think is going to be in Nashville? Holy shit. I would hate to be on that board dealing with that bunch of nonsense. That's crazy. However, there's a few things we're going to learn about today that if we don't do them, They now have a mechanism to put your ass out. Now, we are absolutely, if not number one, damn sure number two. Tennessee Bonding is the only company that throughout our state gives us that. There ain't another one out there. Our company's been through ups and downs. Been a while since we've had this many people in here, this much representation. Okay? Service, Google. If the level playing field is now here, if you're waiting on your phone to ring, you're screwed. If you're not finding a reason to be relevant at that jail, and when they do this, hey, my daughter just went to jail, DUI over here, bondsman near me. If y'all don't pop up, call this dude and bitch complain every fucking day. Every day. But now please understand, if you don't do your job and he asks you, hey, go do these things, then I'll be calling you. But I'm not going to call you too many times. I'm going to replace you. Because I know what I have to be as successful as I've been, and where I know the company can grow and go to now that we're here. Right? We all want to start racing, man. Until today, some people got to start right here. Some people got to start back here. It wasn't too damn fair. The undercutting now stops. What must you give every single client when you bail them out? You're getting ready to have a new thing to give them. Y'all didn't realize that. All y'all gave a shit about was your 5% or making sure that you got your 5%. I'm today going to try to keep us from being criticized, from being reprimanded, pulled off the bonding list, all of those things. These are standards. They want us to comply. They want us to come in and act like we're part of the damn system. So you got all these from all 18 people. Okay, if you have one of these in front of you, it's no longer be in front of you, pass it down. Because this is how we figure out who's got an office. Right, once we get that office, Sequatchie County is a big deal. I know how to do that. Thomas Austin, just write the name down, Thomas Austin. That'll help us there. Rowan County, Rowan or Cumberland, Rowan, we got to have one. Okay, she's got one, Stephanie back there, black hair, she's got one in White County, but that's a long way from you. When you have an office, okay, so then you need an office. That's what we're talking about today. All right, folks, those have been passed down, we're now done with it. The next one. Tell me about Isabel 4011-201. We find someone in jail, what do? You find somebody in jail, that means that they've been skipped, a forfeiture, they failed to come up for court, and we're looking for them. And now then you found them, you bonded them out of Hamilton County, you've now found them in McMinn County. What are you going to do? How do you do that?
I'll call the church.
I'm sorry, I need one person. Dana, how you do it? When the jail says they don't place the hold, the DA's office does, what do you do then?
Go to court.
Saturday morning, what do you do then? Who signs the paper saying not doing it? Because they're the only ones open 24 hours a day, do you understand? Courts are not, judges don't care, DAs are at home, public defenders don't give a damn. Now, come Monday morning, it happened on Saturday morning, what's the number one thing you guys do for 4011-201, subsection C? There's one thing that has to be done. Go to the court and have it stamped and filed. If you don't do that with the clerk's office and you get called to court and Judge Angel says, show me. You tell me, Jeanette, that you place this hold in California. Prove it. They got pissed when we go decide not to do the paperwork. You didn't get it. We got a problem. Yes, ma'am.
What if your clerk's office will not let you file it because you're not an attorney?
Then you have to go through an attorney unless there's a special condition in that county, and we all know that there's 95 counties, meaning there's 95 different ways of doing it. Every one of your counties is gonna be different. Jeanette's the only county that I know of that's still not on a computer system. I mean, you gotta go to Londa's office and physically go through it, don't you? So, right here, there should be 4011-201. That should be the first one that you have. In A, Christie, what's the most important language that you see in letter A under the number 40 on the document that should be the third one in your packet? Maybe second. It's really simple. A says if you don't go to court, they're going to issue conditional forfeiture. Okay, tell me what B says, Christie.
You got 180 days from the date the surety is served with the citations.
So I'm confused. Are you looking at this document here?
Oh. 4011
201, yes ma'am. It's the most important bill that we've had in the last 5 years.
Okay, so.
If you don't do this, this is how we get screwed. If you don't do this, this is how we look like an asshole in the court. If you don't do this, this is how the DA loses trust. So what's the most important thing there, Christie, under B?
Under B is that, well, it's talking about a licensed physician to furnish to the court showing that the principal in the bond is prevented from attending some mental or physical disability.
You're looking at me like you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That's why we're learning the law today. Miss Peggy, tell me what it says under B.
No further condition of any appearance of bond shall be increased, rendered in any case.
Stop right there. So are you telling me that no conditional forfeiture will be rendered by the court if?
Yes.
Okay? What's the if? What must take place?
The statement license official is furnished to the court showing that the principal appears to bond prevented from attempting by some mental or physical disability or where evidence of the defendant incarceration is furnished to the court.
Now then, does that mean, in other words, if your defendant, little Johnny, is in the mental hospital and you're in court like we've asked you to be, and the judge calls little Johnny's name, and you stand up and you say, Your Honor, little Johnny's not here, however, I've got a document from his mama that says here's the physician and he's in the crazy farm. That judge shall not issue a conditional forfeiture. You've shown them, hey, this person is here. If you have a hold on them, that means they're in jail. So if they're in jail, we should have a hold on them unless they're in jail in your county. And if they're in jail in your county, we should be relieved of the bond. However, as Ms. Kim has noted, we are a corporation. And in some places, they're separate, obviously, criminal and circuit court versus sessions court. Sometimes in sessions court, Mark will just say, in jail, off bond. Other times, they're going to come to you and go, hey, go get Jimmy Logan to come over here, file a damn petition, and get off the bond. Because we're a corporation. We go over to Warren County. We better have a lawyer. We go to the 13th. Better have a lawyer. Not in court with your people. In the 31st Judicial District, meaning Van Buren, where you have an opportunity, not really Warren, she does Van Buren, Warren's back up in Van Buren because you live right down the road, right? If you don't show up in court, you know what they're going to do to you? They're going to shut her down. And you too. And me too. You know why? Because there was a local rule that says, if your ass don't come to court, I'm shutting you down. Well, guess what?
So one of us doesn't show up.
If you have Little Johnny in court for Cumberland bail bonding in the 31st Judicial District, and one of you three persons are not in that courtroom, and Judge Stanley sees you not in there and calls your Little Johnny on the docket, and no one stands up, not Little Johnny nor you, you're fucked. You're gonna put down an order, do not allow them to bond any longer. Now then, guess what? There's a state statute out there, and I won the appellate court. They said, no, you're wrong. Well, guess what? I then get to going up to the Supreme Court. Local rules trump state law. How crazy is that shit? It's a Supreme Court ruling. Will Lockhart in Coffee County was my lawyer for it. He's now the judge. Those are true facts. So what you're going to begin to see is local rules kind of govern us too. They want you in court. If you're sitting at home waiting on your telephone, you're not going to be successful. Period. Just go and hang it up, find me somebody else's part and be friends. But now if you'll go to court and you'll take a physician's statement or show them here's a face sheet, they're in jail, the judge most of the time will relieve you of that bond right then, but at the very least not issue a conditional, meaning that Roche Surety or Andy Baggenstoss is not at the most liable place. Number 3, what's it say there? Who we got here? Dana, tell me about number 3.
C,
Please, see. Yes, ma'am.
the parents are available and shall remain in full force and effect until the principal is physically or mentally able to appear, or until the detainer against the principal is filed with the detaining authority.
Stop right there. Or until a detainer against the principal is filed. What do you think the first thing the DA is going to ask that judge? Judge, can you check with the clerk and see if it was filed? And the clerk sits at the right-hand side of the judge. No, Your Honor, I didn't see this. Well, that right there just goes out the window. 4011-201, no longer need it because we're screwed. You must file the detainer at the first opportunity. If the detainer request is refused, or if the detaining authority releases the principal notwithstanding the filing of the detainer. Meaning, as long as you file the detainer, they can release the guy and you shall not be responsible. But you had to take your whole form that was signed at the jail on Sunday night to the clerk's office and put it in the clerk's file, and so that when the judge sees it, we're off the bond. We noticed the court, just like you said, this bill. We noticed the court. It shall be the duty of the bondsman or surety to present the presiding court in a timely manner all appropriate documentation evidencing the detainer was properly filed or refused. Please go file the damn paperwork and you need a face sheet. There's no reason why Dan and Carmen and Curtis and Amber should be doing your work for you. If you have a skip in your county that's your bond that you wrote that we're partners on, get good information and go and try to locate them. If you're scared and you don't want to, no problem. There's lots of people that have been that way. Call somebody. We'll go. Promise you. No problem. That's the biggest law, 4011-201, that's been in effect that y'all have got to understand. File the doggone paperwork. All right, so then let's go on over to 151, 411, 139D. Bear with me. Let's go do this one. Okay. 4011-139 here is going to be the next law that's just say 4011-139 in your packet. forfeiture of bail security, notice to defendant and sureties, list of database of fugitives. Number one, Jared, what does it say under A? No, it's not. If the defendant's release is secured under 4011-122, does not comply with the conditions of a bail bond, the court having jurisdiction shall enter an order declaring the bail bond to be forfeited. Notice of the order of forfeiture shall be immediately sent by regular mail by the clerk of the court to the defendant or to the defendant's last known address. The defendant's surety will be served with the sour facias upon forfeiture entered, and the capias shall be issued for the defendant. When the defendant who failed to appear pursuant to the conditions of the bail bond is arrested on the capias, the surety of the defendant shall be released. So in other words, if they pick your defendant, little Johnny, up on the capias for the failure to appear, there's no reason for us to ask for relief. We're already relieved. That's what the law says. No need to petition the court or go to that monthly bond meeting down there and ask one of the judges, to be relieved there in Hamilton County. All right, what's B say? Teresa, or Brianna, what does B say?
After the expiration of 180 days from the date surety is served, his sour facias or sour facias is returned to the clerk unserved or undelivered, the court may enter judgment from the state against the defendant and the defendant's sureties for the amount of the bail and cost of the proceedings.
How many days do we have, Richard, to find our client, little Johnny?
180.
And that's after what happens?
The paperwork was wrong.
No, that's 4011-201, meaning after they fail to appear in court because you bonded little Johnny out, remember?
Or after the sour faces is returned to the clerk's office.
Again, everything is predicated on the fact that they failed to appear in court. Okay? And once they fail to appear, we then have 180 days. Yes, sir.
I want to make something clear. So, guy pointed out he skipped court, so I went and got him. So at that time, the police was with me. So he pleaded. So they charged him for fleeing. I went into the court and told him to come on his bond so he would be arrested. But I didn't have to do that since they already took a 1 hour on him for fleeing.
The fleeing was a different case than the sour facias. That is a new charge versus the original charge. The capias would have been issued based on the conditional, based on the individual not appearing in court.
Okay.
You with me there? Now here's the big deal. Before 180 days gets there, I should be able to call Dan and Carmen and go, hey, what's the latest notes? What's the latest thing? Oh, I drove by Mama's house and she no longer has the 2010 Chevy Bronco. Cool, there's at least something, we know something occurred. Okay, something happened. I need y'all to look for your skips. The best way to do that is to be in court on the day that they're supposed to be there. And when they're not there, call them. Don't be an asshole, just call them. And a lot of times they forgot. They got a car broke down. Offer to help them. Stand up in court and tell Judge Raines, I spoke to little Johnny and he's going to let me come pick him up after lunch. Judge Raines might not issue that conditional forfeiture payment. Okay? Now, if the court issues a bench warrant due to the defendant's failure to appear on a felony or a Class A-B misdemeanor that is violent or sexual in nature, as determined by the court, or if the defendant is charged with failure to appear, then the defendant shall be placed on an available state or federal list or database as a fugitive from justice without limitation within 10 business days. Now, that law is what we have been trying to get off our bonds with for about a year now. It's been a great little secret for us under 139D. If Cody Walk doesn't do something, Isabel, within 10 days, and she says we're only limiting the individual to be put inside in the NCIC for the Southeast, and he If I petition the court, should I be relieved of that bond based on this law?
Yes.
The reason why is why. It was after 10 days? No. It was put in 10 days, but there were limitations.
Right.
Remember, there are limitations to the area. So, please go to this public chapter 352. It should be right behind that piece of paper. And if not, go through there and locate it. It'll say, public chapter 352 at the top, House Bill 1256 right under that, and it should be about this size right here. 352. You see it there, this one, guys. 352 will be up here at the top. Yep, I think you got it. 352, Amy, I think you got it too, don't you? All right, so if you got it, here, let's read it real quick. Or capious due to the defendant's failure to appear, which that's what we just discussed, on a felony of or a Class A B misdemeanor that's violent or sexual in nature. We just heard that under 139D. We know that we're amending by deleting a couple of sections, okay? So under D, it's talking about this, then we go to 1, we just read number 2. If necessary, the judicial official must sign the bench warrant or capious by the end of the next business day. After the defendant's failure to appear, the clerk shall transmit the bench warrant or capious to the entering agency by the end of the next business day. So now we have 2 days that DA is supposed to be entering you into NCIC. The entering agency shall enter the bench warrant into any available state or federal list or database, including the National Crime, NCIC. A surety is not liable for undertaking if the defendant has not been placed on an available state, federal list or database within 3 business days of the entering agency's receipt. What's left out of this? The limitations. They changed the limitations. Remember, 139D stated that you could not be limited. They had to include Alaska, Hawaii, the continental United States. They've now pulled that out. Okay? So now what's going to be is, how do you find out about 139D? How do you know whether or not it was put in the computer within 3 days?
You put one. I checked with more. Called Johnny on NCIC. You put one. I checked with more. Called Johnny on NCIC.
So you guys have probably got a little easier down there in Chattanooga. You can probably get that done a little easier. Jeanette, you know what they're going to tell you if you go to Steve Strain or Sherry or any of those people and you go, hey, I need to know about NCIC, is little Johnny on there. They may or may not tell you. So what we've been doing is filing a motion to be relieved, and then it's up to that DA to tell the judge we agree or disagree with the premise that they should be relieved. Then the judge rules on, I agree with your interpretation or I don't. Now, I've gone back and forth with my lawyers because it might even be a motion now to compel, because now it deals with the court clerk as opposed to the DA. The DA can write on his computer and pull NCIC up right there in the courtroom. A clerk, however, cannot. So, shitty news for me is it looks like that's more lawyer fees. What it looks like y'all as agents that are able to talk in your courtrooms, you need to be aware of this to ask. Your Honor, can we be relieved because they didn't put them on NCIC until day 22? If it goes after 3 days, we shall be relieved. That's a big ass help to the bonding companies, okay? You can see number 4, if the defendant is apprehended outside the state by a law enforcement agency in a jurisdiction that is outside the limitation entered into for the federal database, and the district attorney must determine within 1 business day So they can put them anywhere. But they gotta come back to one day. So this is a time issue. I don't really see how the state, this is gonna take some time. The clerk's office is gonna have to talk to the DA is gonna have to talk to the sheriff, and this is a problem for bonding company owners. Even though I think ultimately we get off some bonds, it's a lot easier if you're in court on the day that your little Johnny goes, and little Johnny shows up and they go 30 days in jail, you go to bail books and put discharge. If they don't, then you get that conditional forfeiture, you go to the clerk's office in Sevier County, you ask them, hey, or you got relieved and the judge said, you're relieved, what should you do? Thank you. Go to your bill books, please do your job.
So I have a quick question about this.
Yep.
So does this mean that they can no longer tell us, oh, well, we can't do anything or put a hold because they're not in NCIC? Does this mean that everybody, even the misdemeanor, because they used to say only felonies can be listed there.
What did the law say? Let's read the law.
It just says that, yeah,
You know what?
they are gonna be entered, they have the date, the certain, the one.
You're asking about the charges, Christie, so let's speak a little more plainly. You ask about a felony. If you read the document that's before you, you read a couple of sentences down. It also includes two other things that should clarify your question, which are
Yep, and what I'm saying.
misdemeanor A and misdemeanor B.
Right, and that's different because it didn't used to be like that.
Again, if you read the top of your new law, it will say that they are either adding or deleting a section. Okay, so if it says adding, then they're adding that. The A and B was there last year. I know it was there last year in addition to the federal. So no, I don't. Remember earlier when I asked you guys, do you know about the laws that have changed? And everybody says, yeah, I understand about the money. Take this one out here. It's Public Chapter 318. Just kind of go through there, look for 318. It'll say a notice of a professional bondsman. Thank you. Looks like you got it. You got it back there. Okay. Notice of the professional bondsman. Okay. Up here it says, Section 1, Tennessee Code Annotated Section 4011-151 is amended by deleting the section and substituting. Any person utilizing the services of a professional bail bondsman or bail agent must receive a copy of the following notice with the person's bail bond. Changes must be made in the substance of the notice, but minor printing adjustments may be made. The notice may be printed on the face, back, or separate attachment of the bond. We are providing you with one of these. Today, you do not have to give one of these to your defendant. Come 12:01 tonight, you must give one of these to the defendant. So, you go through there and it says notice if you use a professional bondsman. That's the notice. It'll be in there somewhere. A notice of professional bondsman. It may be in your packets here. Packets here. It's not in there? No. Matt, take that in there. Ask code name 45 of those copies. What that document is now gonna say, it's gonna tell us what we can charge the defendant. They want us to tell, the state does, our guy, that there's options out there. That's effectively what this is going to do. Okay? When you get it, do not have them sign it and let them keep it. If they have an opportunity to throw you under the bus, they're going to. You're going to get them to sign it and you're going to turn it in with your paperwork. It's going to go in our hard copy files so that if there's ever a question, did we do what we were supposed to do? We can pull the copy, go to the court, and show it. Okay? Right there. take one of these, pass them around. There's multiple copies there for you. They'll come back this way. These must be given out. I presume that your video is working back there. Perfect. They tell me that I don't train well and I neglect something I ain't got proof. It's kind of like going over here and having somebody sign off on the fact that they placed a hold and you take it to the clerk's office, we have proof. If you haven't figured this out yet, when you go and raise your right hand to get out of any damn thing, you have to have what? Proof. You don't get out of any kind of trouble unless you have proof. Those are based on facts. Facts are hard to defeat if they're signed, stamped by a clerk, and you have them by the defendant. How the hell can they argue with us? Now, what this, basically the new public chapter 318 says, amount of charges to you. If you are a Tennessee resident, the premium fee for your bond should be 10%. The most important thing is Tennessee resident. If you're outside Tennessee, we can charge 15%. Okay? 2 sentences there. Insist on a receipt. Requires a bail bondsman to keep a duplicate receipt. At the bottom of our contract, we have receipts. You write in there how much you got paid. Some of you do, some of you don't. There should be a long form that you have, and some of you have only got a short form. So if you don't have the long form that you can tear it off, give the defendant what they need, and you all keep one, then we'll address that with Miss Peggy and Jennifer here just shortly. Collateral that can be required. If a bondsman insists on collateral in addition to the premium fee, then you may wish to talk to another bondsman. However, a bondsman may accept collateral, and if the bondsman accepts collateral, then the bondsman must give you a written receipt for the collateral, and the receipt shall give in detail full description of the collateral received in terms of redemption as required. So the problem is that it had to be, if you did a bond for $10,000, you couldn't take $1 million home, is what his argument was. I disagree. The bank all the damn time, they love to have equity, right? They don't care to take your equity, so why the hell should the DA care if I have equity in something? It secures my bond more, okay? Either way, what has to happen is that document that has been passed up through here, did y'all get one too? You got it. You have to give them. They have to sign it. You have to turn it in. That is the new law. If you don't do that, and then all of a sudden you charge 4%, man, Stillman's going to eat your damn lunch. Judge Still.
So what's the minimum amount that you can charge? Is that what it's saying? Minimum is 500.
That was the first law we went over.
Well, just making sure.
Yeah, what this notice is here is a notice to tell you, hey, you better give them this notice explaining all of their options. They don't like their options with you, they got other options. Yes, ma'am, Brianna.
So in the beginning, you had said that local rule trumps state law.
No, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am, sorry. Yes,
So,
you think it'd be the opposite.
Could they not make it a local rule that?
No, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am, sorry. Yes,
So,
you think it'd be
Could they
the opposite.
not, could they not make it a local rule that that county has to pay 10% for bondsmen? No.
I'm gonna tell you that a judge can do any damn thing that judge wants to do in that damn courtroom. I'm gonna tell you though that, that wouldn't be smart. The reason for that is you don't make enough money to pay the tax dollars for the bigger jail. Because if you require every individual to have 10% to get out of jail, there ain't nothing, it ain't working, okay? They're never getting out, they can't afford, yes, sir.
So I know so we're gonna be saying we're gonna do the 5%, the minimum 5%. You got a year to pay the other 5%. So how are we gonna get around that right now? What are we gonna do? Are we gonna tell them we're gonna take the 5%, but you still got to pay us the other 5%?
We're gonna follow the law. Your question is what are we gonna do about the other 5? The law gives us a very distinct instruction on what to do. Does anybody, and has anybody read that law, and can they tell us? No, I'm sorry.
Contracts no longer these big white, pink, and yellow, you gave the pink one to the guy as a receipt. You kept the yellow one and sent the white one to the office. Mine no longer have the pink.
Neither do mine.
As long as you've got two, that's what really matters for us.
So give the defendant the yellow one.
Yeah.
I would like to get to the specifics of your contracts because not everybody in here has the same one. Okay, so we want to be uniform with that, but I'm gonna stick on topic here. My question was, did any of you all read the law to tell me what you're supposed to do with the additional 5%? Because what I'm gonna tell you to do is we're gonna do equal installments. Let's take your piece of paper out here. Let's look at Public Chapter 318. Public Chapter 318. It's going to be this one right here, 318. You got it? You got it. Cool. Turn that piece of paper over. Let's keep reading. Most people in our room, they don't want to read. All they give a shit about is the money. Remember, that's the first law you told me about. Cool. The professional bondsman or agent of an insurance company making appearance bonds of criminal nature may agree to accept premiums and initial fees set forth in this subsection. Interest or other fees, with the exception of transactions fee for a third party, as cost processing fees, are not charged for the installment. The professional bondsman collects no less than 50% of the premium. The full amount of the premium is to be paid during the first 12 months of the bond. Now, I know we got smart people in here, Kim, you can't answer. Now tell me why this is a big deal, the 1 year.
I'm assuming I can't answer it.
Yes, some of you can.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of you get mad in the room when we do this. Some of you call and say, what are you going after my money for? Let's go with the law. The law says that after 1 year, I can collect 20% of the original 10%. And if y'all don't give a shit to do anything about it, put it in bail books for a fucking year, don't call my office and bitch. I'm paying my collector to go get my damn money. If y'all want to get your collector to go get your damn money, you go get it. I don't care. But do not call and raise hell with my office if you've not put in bail books in the last few weeks. Damn sure in 6 months. I mean, who can argue that you give a shit about accounts receivable if you didn't do anything in 6 months? Why do you deserve anything? You didn't do your damn job at the start. You ain't done it in 6 months. Why should I help you? It's kind of like sending in your paperwork after you were arrested and discharged because you weren't in court and you didn't know and you didn't go to the clerk's office and get who's still on liability because either A, you didn't know, or B, you didn't fucking listen, but now I got proof. I know y'all are going, man, this dude's crazy as fuck. Well, what I am is 30 fucking years in the business, and I know. You may not like my language, I get it. I'm damn sure not a saint, but I damn sure know how to survive. I damn sure know how to make some money. And if you'll listen to me, I'll make each and every one of y'all some damn money too. But if you think you know better than me, like some of these assholes on the TRM side, we get into problems. Now, what's the number one thing I've talked about a number of laws, but what's the one thing that's going to help you when you leave this room today?
Knowledge and understanding.
Find a fucking office.
See, I'm not.
Get Google. They no longer send you the postcard. You have to take the phone to an office, show a damn picture in the window, show something on your car, show your keys to the office, show that you're approved by the judge, then go out and make a picture all around. Then from the Google sky, they tell you that you're really at that location. And if you do not have bricks and mortar, just stop looking at Google.
And it has to be separated. It can't be like a break room in a building. It has to have its own entrance, stuff like that. It can't be buddy up with anybody.
So does mine work or no?
No.
So does that also mean we cannot use our residence?
Google has come down hard on bail bonding in general because of the fraud that has been going on.
So let's stop right there. How do we know there's fraud going on? Tennessee Bonding and about 14 other bonding companies are right now involved in a federal lawsuit. There's about 14 other bonding companies out there that say, you know what, Tennessee hired some smart son of a bitch to go in there and say that every one of these companies were closed down on Google. And then we've even got proof where they go in there and say that these people are closed, multiple offices, bad service. And they didn't just do it to AAA or Cumberland. They did it across the damn board. I mean, it's unbelievable. I've been in business twice as long as they have. But because I pulled back my offices, the algorithm changes at Google, we're screwed. If we want bonds, it'll be service and it'll be Google. Just, it will be. I don't see a single person, maybe one, who are in a big county. I may have two back there that may still have local relationships. Kingsport's too damn big. If you're not on Google, I don't have anybody put you on the radio up there with all 3 radio stations, or Sirius, or Pandora, or whatever all the other bullshit is that goes with it. How do I get you on there? So the next best thing is let's go to TV. Well, who watches TV? Only old folks. It's not a terrible thing, because that's granny and that's mama. That's who's usually going to pay the damn bond. Okay? So that might work.
Well, Facebook.
Guess what? You're about 4 or 5 other bonding companies right before you, right above you, and you can go into the Facebook and get Facebook ads and TikTok ads and Google ads and all this stuff. But I can tell you is, if you Google bail bonds near me and your ass don't pop up in the top 3, don't plan on getting a bond.
Well, from this point of view, from marketing, is about $50,000 might give you 4 click-throughs on Google and stuff like that. There are other options we could go down. We can discuss that later, Andy. But basically, Facebook, Meta, whatever you want to call it, is a giant trap.
Let's back up. Who the fuck goes to Facebook? My buddy, me and her riding in the car. Holy shit, we got pulled over. She was driving, she was drunk, she went to jail. What am I doing?
I'm Googling bail bonds.
Hold on a minute, Facebook? Come on, man, come on. No, and fucking no. It's bail bonds, but what county are we in? Give me the county. Is it Cumberland County? What's my county? What's my county seat? Crossville? Do I do Crossville bail bonds, or do I do McMinn bail bonds, or do I do Athens bail bonds? Which bail bonds do I do? Well, most people are going to do bail bonds near me. This is common fucking sense. We're doing pretty good as a company, except for one thing. Y'all came in here today with one expectation of talking about the additional money you're going to make, but you didn't have a damn clue how you're going to get it. If they don't call you, does the 5% really matter? To hit a home run in the World Series, guys, you got to be in the World Series. Right? If we want to play in the championship game, we got to beat South Pittsburgh. We got to beat Whipple. We don't, we ain't going. Understand where the starting line is, and tonight at 12:01, your starting line is bail bonds near me. I've told you for months, and months, and fucking months. And then y'all come in and y'all give me turn-ins, and I look at them and I go, well, hold on now, why did that happen? Oh, well, they don't have an office, they didn't give a shit, they had another department, they didn't want to communicate, they didn't call the office, They wanted somebody to go do it for them. That's not a partner that I want. Be willing to go after the $500 bonds, that's how you get the $50,000 bonds. Who? Yeah, I'm fine, let me know when Curtis gets here. That's the motion. All right, Speaker McNally, public chapter, forfeiture records, retain surety, personal contact. All right, 395 is this in the law, 395, it's kind of got a drawing on it. Important law for you right here. So, this says, the Tennessee Code annotated 4011-204 is amended by adding the following new sections. In the event of forfeiture, principal surety may petition the court for release from their obligation as surety. Petition must be accompanied by a sworn affidavit dealing with good faith efforts were made to locate and assure the appearance of principal. Number 2, upon the filing of a petition, the court shall hold a hearing during which bondsman may state the good faith efforts made to locate and assure the appearance of the principal. The court shall include any such statement by the bondsman if it's in its written order following hearing. Upon a finding by preponderance of evidence that the bondsman has complied with all good faith effort requirements of this subsection, the court may release or exonerate the bondsman of the bondsman's obligations in this case. In considering whether good faith efforts were made by the bondsman to locate and assure the appearance of the principal, the court may require as to the following factors: records retained by the surety as the principal's contact information, place residence, place of employment, known associates, records. That means I'm going to keep what y'all turn in. If you give me a damn wrong address from here on out because you don't want me calling your damn people to get my damn 20% at the end of your fucking year, I'm mad. Good. I get the game. I've been too busy though. But now I've kind of calmed down and I get the game. Oh, so we just go up here and we put in one different phone number. Oh, so we just go up here and we put in one different phone number. Just one little, a 3 to a 6. Nobody knows it, but if I go to call, I get nobody.
Addresses also.
Addresses. If you don't give me addresses, how do I mail my piece of paper that you didn't care to mail them their notice to pay me my 20% on my 10%? Now the first thing that does is when you don't have our information in there, we then begin to call and ask folks about their service. And that's something that's getting ready to happen because of this new law of the 50%. My people are now going to call and ask your defendants randomly, did you all get good service? And if you did you get a payment plan or did you pay the full 10%? I want to ensure that we are in compliance with that 12 equal monthly installments for a while. All right, is that?
And you said 12 months, okay. I get her out of jail next week, she sells her case. How you gonna get your other money because she's...
Sure, if you get a right address and right phone number. I get it. All right, so records retained by the surety we just talked about. Actions and steps taken by the surety to keep track of the principal's location. Well, if I print off bail books and you give me a wrong address right off the bat, I have failed the litmus test. Right? I mean, the judge wants to know that I got a good address. Well, I write down the wrong address and I want to give it to Russ Klusterman, so I print the thing for bail books and go, here's the point of sale program that we utilize. There should be notes in here from our bail agent. Let me show you what they did, Your Honor. Here it is. So that's how I'd answer that one. I just, Information obtained by the surety where the principal may B, even if that information is not conclusive with respect to the principal's location, any other information the court will find useful in determining whether the surety acted in good faith. Curtis Burkett, who should be here shortly, does most of your work for you. Why? How many times, Teresa, has he been required to give an affidavit in the court in the First Judicial District? Almost every time. Okay? So the affidavits are a big deal. Affidavits from you all as agents so that we know we've got the correct information. Affidavits from our bounty hunters so that they can see if we've done something. We create a timeline. We show receipts. At that point, the judge may let us off, may not. Depends on how relationships are.
The next one here, Public Chapter 396. This is going to talk about 4011-314. This is the most convoluted law, and I'm still out to sea on this one a little bit, okay? So let's read it together. Beginning October 25, 2025, every professional bondsman licensed to do business in this state shall file a quarterly report no later than January 25th, April 25th, July 25th, and October 25th of each year, with the Department of Revenue detailing the number of bonds issued by the bonds in the preceding quarter, the number of bonds issued in each county which a bondsman operate, and the total amount of the bondsman's liability in each county. But here's my question. Up until today, who does your city reports for you? Her. Our home office does. Peggy, what's your interpretation of this law? We might have to start A.
Peggy, what's your interpretation of this law?
We might have to start doing
Looks like more times a year,
But who's gonna start doing
every
it?
3 months.
Kim,
yes.
in your opinion?
I am, I'm gonna do mine, I'll trust you.
But
Or anybody else.
do you believe it's a bondsman that's gonna do it, that each of these individuals in this room?
If they don't wanna go to jail, I think it is.
So, how's the best way to keep up with the bonds that you've written and for you to give the printout that has the information about it? Bondsman operate a total amount of the bondsman's liability in each county.
Well,
She's been on the bench with this shit all in, so we're gonna let her. Now, folks, if you want this law to be easy, put your shit in bell books.
correctly.
All you gotta do is hit print. At the end of the quarter, you don't have to go through your files, you don't have to make a spreadsheet, you don't have to do none of that. Do your sale, your point of sale at the time of the sale, hit the button, and guess what? If it matches what I'm turning in, we're probably not gonna have a date in Nashville. You don't turn in the same numbers that I'm turning in, we're gonna have a date in Nashville. If you don't turn in the numbers that I'm turning in, we're gonna have a date in Nashville. With their new little group that's gonna be started in March of 2026, or with the Department of Revenue. We don't want that. This is a wonderful law for bail company owners. Because up until now, I would let some of you in this room steal from me, but because y'all made me enough money, I didn't do shit about it. But guess what? Now I get reinforcements. First time in my life I ever said I like the fucking Department of Revenue. I mean, goodness gracious, this is gonna be awesome. They carry a bigger stick than I carry. They will put you in jail. They will levy your accounts. They will take your damn money. So my suggestion, 2 weeks before this is due, let's compare and contrast. Let's get it right. Let's do yourselves and me a favor and make sure our numbers are correct. If they're 1 or 2 off, even 10, if it's $100, they're probably not caring. If you get out there and you get 15, 20, 30 bonds, and it's $300, $400, $500, $600, they're gonna call us in and go, show me your records. How are they gonna prove it? They're first gonna go to the clerk's office, and they're gonna say, what's your active role? What's your active liability? And then they're gonna go over here to bail books, and they're gonna say, print bail books, because that's what you turned in on the 3rd month. And these don't match. And what you're gonna say is, well, some of those people have already come off. Right? You're gonna say they already got discharged. So then what's the next progression to this story? That's how you hide it, isn't it? That's how you hide it. You still have the opportunity to go write bail bonds, hope that they're not on that clerk's list, hope that they've already been discharged, and you got to keep the money. The problem is now that you have to say that in fact you actually wrote a bond because it's going to go where? Where else is it going to go? No shit, the clerk's office. Well, guess what? The clerk now, my guess is they got this handy dandy little computer, and they put every bond in there that you have done since the last 3 months. Can y'all see how you better not be writing bail bonds and not turning them in? If you write a bail bond and you don't turn it in, you're going to get caught. Not just by the conditional forfeiture, which is traditionally how we caught you. You're now going to get caught by the Department of Revenue. Or you're going to get audited by this damn group in March that they put together as some sort of board. So each clerk of the court that admits defendants to bail pursuant to Part 1 of this chapter shall file a quarterly report no later than January the 25th, April the 25th. Now this is interesting because I would want to go back and look, because I don't think that I have my semi-annuals. I think I have till the end of the month. I don't think it says the 25th. Okay? So that means there's a distinction for sure, and now I'm absolutely positive this law means y'all. So every 3 months, be prepared to turn your sheet. This is the last one here. It says, Public Chapter 253. $11,155. As used in this section, a qualified electronic monitoring provider. And provider mean a private entity that has been qualified and approved by local government entities where the provider seeks to operate and enters into a written contract or an agreement with the local government to supply, maintain, or monitor electronic monitoring devices for defendants under a court order, or includes manufacturers and contract with third-party vendors. This has to do with what, folks? Cool. If you read on down through there, and I'm not going to take the time to do it, there's only one thing that matters to you, but two things that matter to y'all. The first one matters to me. On April 14th, they had a law that came out, and that's the one you're looking at, and it was signed, and it said that I cannot own both. I can't own a monitoring company and a bail company at the same time. However, in their infinite wisdom, some less than 14 days later, now mind you, this law comes into enactment tomorrow. This next law, which is the bail bond law, is not enacted till January the 1st, but did get signed by the governor after the April the 14th law. And it says that I'm godfathered into this thing for anybody that was doing both before January the 2025. Which one's right? Which one's right? Which one can I do? My contention is the last law that was signed is the one that takes precedence over everything else. What did I do because I didn't want to get into trouble? So there's two solutions. The first thing that I did is I went to Senator Bowman. I sat in her living room. I said, Senator, I need some help. And she said, no problem, Mr. Baggs. That's what we do for you. I said, there's this question that I have and I'm unclear. So I called the lawyers in Knoxville, Lewis and Thomason and Don Bosch, and everybody got together and determined, hey, we need a question. So we now sent our question to the state. So I'm not worried about it, but it shows you and points to our legislature. Man, they talk out each side of their mouth. They don't know one hand doing the other hand. It gets tough, right? So you have to deal with them with lawyers and this things. We'll find out about that one, but here's how this really matters. Let's say that you have a domestic violence charge, and you call a monitoring company. Ask that monitoring company, do they and have they followed the Debbie and Marie law? The Debbie and Marie law, so if there's a monitoring company coming to your area, stealing my damn monitors, I want you to ask them and the client, hey, are you following that law? So what that law means is that you get an act as the victim. You get victim's information, but most importantly, you have a contract, because that's what it said, right? You have a contract with the county. I have 55 contracts around the state. There's 95 counties. So yes, I can do monitors in almost anywhere I want to. But please understand, yes sir, Mr. Woodville.
How many ones the company they got to tell me?
Monitoring companies?
Yeah, I just got one out. See, I ain't one.
So there should only be two. There should be an old man in criminal court up there that is house arrest systems. He's been there a long time. He's got one particular DA that gets along with him. But the fact of the matter is in Chattanooga, pretrial release does all monitors. Except for he's special somehow. And I don't know how he got to be so special, but he's special. He gets the opportunity to do it. And so we don't do monitors in Hamilton. Every other county here. No, we do them in general sessions. We don't have to contract in criminal.
Oh, okay.
Who did you talk to to find that information out?
Well, it was Pronto Track that come to put it on.
Well, no, whether a competitor. What courtroom were they out of? Criminal or were they out of sessions?
Sessions.
Okay, then it's criminal that we have one of the two. So Matt, if you don't care to walk around, walk over and ask Alyssa to look down and tell me, is it sessions or is it criminal court that we have? Tell her to call Diana, since that's her program manager. So that'll be the answer, because we've got one or the other. Anybody else got questions about monitors? Again, man, it's standards. It's standards on monitors, it's standards on bail. Why did it happen? Does anybody have a clue why all these sheets come down like this? See, y'all don't watch the news in Nashville, and that's okay, it's not close by to you, but Brooks Bonding in Nashville got an individual out of jail. That individual was conditioned to have a monitor. That condition was not put on the documentation that got to the booking. They released him booking in Davidson County, they released the inmate. The bonding agent got a monitor put on, but it was after time, and this guy had already made his way out of the jail. But what did he do? He went straight to Mississippi, and he murdered a young lady. And just last week, that young lady's father sued everybody he could for $150 million. So that's why you have, I've never seen it in my time of bonding or monitors where you had this many pieces of legislation that came out in 1 year. I've never seen it.
But if Boogie doesn't get the proper paperwork, they say release, I'm gonna let him out. I know, I'm work Boogie, so, yeah.
It'll be a big fight, the lawyers are gonna win. Yeah, I hate it for Brooks Bonding, because she didn't have insurance, who knows if she has enough money for the lawyers that it's gonna take, it's gonna put her out of business. You know, it's just not a good deal. But that's why TRM got out of Nashville. I used to have a contract there, not a good place to be at all. Sessions. So we have the opportunity to put them all in sessions. You must have looked at your paperwork wrong. Or they beat Diana, and that's why Diana's bow was gone from 144 down to 104. It wasn't just because of Judge Sloan that passed away, and his drug court about 6 months ago.
That's what I was thinking, because it was Sessions.
We got beat. That's how I would tell you. Pronto Track is a competitor. Cody's out of,
American? Or,
he has the contract in Maryville. If you'll think about the words that I've used today, in the monitoring section, we use Pronto. Cody owns Pronto Track, meaning he has a separate division that has a point of sale called Pronto. So, all I'm saying is he kicked Diana's ass. They went to play basketball in our person lost, okay? That's where we get you there and you're making your bonds, you get to see those conditions. If you're in court, you get to hear those conditions and how they are. When those conditions are set, what do you see in the courtroom? You see mom and daddy get up on the back row and walk the hell out. Because they go, oh my God, I gotta buy a monitor and I gotta get him out, I don't know what to do. What am I gonna do? Can you tell me a bonding company around here? No, ma'am, there's a list on the back and we can't do that. Facebook. No, he's good. Okay, you understand? That's how we're gonna win. You've got a wonderful situation over there in Monroe County. They kicked y'all's ass and my ass over there, City Bonded and Andy over there, for a long, long time, doing 2%, 3%, 4% bonds. Man, y'all need to be smiling today. But please understand the good news comes with another side of, I guess, the sword. Because man, it can cut us. And if we don't do what we're supposed to do, man, they're coming after you. And who it's gonna be is your peers. Because if they can remove you from taking part of their pie, they get more pie. Right? So, all right. Next thing that we're gonna do is so the next one here, well, before we do that, we're gonna do this. Has anybody got your skips? Y'all got a piece of paper that looks like this? Take it to it in a minute. Who's got Green County in here? Nobody really's got Green County except for you two. Obviously, that's not their special. Christie, here's yours. Dana.
What is this?
This right here is gonna be all your skips. This is Jennifer Sullivan, Brianna Gray. You and Jeanette can do that. Kim, Knox, Brianna, Severe, Brianna, Sarah, Brianna, Stephanie, Teresa. Please write on there, check your skips. Everybody look at your skips. No, yeah, absolutely. So here's the deal. Some of these that are on your piece of paper, y'all didn't write the bond. But guess who gets shut down? It's not just the agent, it's the company. So if we're not taking care of business here, they're shutting us both down. If y'all don't know that we only have 180 days and y'all don't take in a position statement or show where they're incarcerated, then we get a conditional forfeiture, they go on this list. If we don't find them in 180 days, we gotta have help. Hand me that right there.
Mary County or something.
Oh, that was Mr. Jeanette, thank you. Jeanette, how you gotta get yours now, go up to Miss Lana, the clerk. And they don't have a system at all, okay? You just have to be Miss Lana. So, when it comes to this situation of skips, we ask you to get good information. If you don't have good information, A, I can't write for my 20% on my 10%, right, Teresa? I gotta have good information. The next thing is why we need good information is if we want to have an affidavit from Curtis to say, hey, Your Honor, we'll like off this bond, we need all the information. Right? That's what the law says. That's what we went over. They want to see evidence, right? Facts. Doesn't mean they're going to let us off all the time, but damn sure will let us off some of the time. Okay? These skips, it's the best I've ever had in 10 years. I mean, it's really an awesome situation. What everybody in this room, honestly, should absolutely look at this ball redheaded fucker over here and go, thank you. Because without him, we would be out of business. This dude right here, he's taking care of my family and taking care of every one of y'all more times than you can remember or even know about.
I'm a side kid.
Yeah, you're a side kid. I can't tell y'all enough thank yous to him and Amber. When y'all are sleeping and y'all don't want to go out, he's the one that goes. Please understand, if you're talking right now, that means you don't have skips. That means you don't have skips because you didn't write shit in your county. Because if you did write something in your county, you damn sure had a skip. And if you had a skip, you damn sure go, hey, thanks, Curtis, for helping me.
I love you, Curtis.
We do,
I love you too. If he contacts you in the middle of the night, please get up and help him. Please. He went out and got your skip for you. Meet him at the jail. Why is the biggest reason you meet him at the jail?
To look at him because he's cute.
None of y'all got it yet. Y'all shall laugh about him trying to help him. He really ran. That's what he's doing. What are you doing? Opportunity. Who's at the jail?
I'm cultivating
That's right.
relationships.
There you go. But also, Mama comes into Knox County up there, and she's wandering around. She stumbles up to the front desk, and hey, man, my son, he just got arrested, right? Well, he's not booked yet, man, and you'll have to wait a minute. She turns to walk out the door, and you're sitting on that bench right over there. Man, are you okay? Is there something I can do to help you? Did you see what we did? We were nice. We didn't ask, I want your bond. Who can I help you with? I'm a bondsman. All you did was be nice. If you're nice, you'll get a bond. View that opportunity to go to the jail as an opportunity to find a new client. Now, what these two back here are doing, they're looking at Hamilton County and they're going, hey, I believe I know that son of a bitch. Now, in the back of their mind, what the one over in the pretty shirt saying's got all the checkers on it, he's going, ooh, I know what that is. Okay, smile. I know it. What he's doing, same thing every one of y'all did when we walked in the door. You know the only law they knew today, Curtis?
Probably how to get here.
No law. Only you know what one law do you think this group of people, out of the 5 new laws that we have, which one do you think they were most concerned about?
The only one that they care about is the one that, how much can they charge, because half of them are gonna go to jail for it, and I'll be the motherfucker that turns you in, because I don't like none of you. Except for Kim, but I love
And I hope you turn the rest of it.
He's exactly right. That's what y'all all come in here and said, wasn't it? And I get it. I want the money too. But when you're not responsible, Isabel, for that $2,000 or $3,000 and then you got out of your damn pocket, you probably care a little bit less than I do. Why does he care? He gets paid well, I treat him good, I'm not a micromanager because he knows how to do his damn job. That guy right there, that's my partner. He don't write a single bond, not a single one. I'll take him over every one of you in the room. Not because I don't like you. That dude's been with me through the trenches. That dude's been with me when it's 75,000 due in 2 days. What the hell are we gonna do? What are we gonna do if it's 130 and it's due in 22 days? It's him. That's who it is. And if you're looking around and you don't do anything other than say, hey, thanks, look yourself in the mirror tonight when you get home and go, hey, am I the best bondsman that I can be? Because the only thing you should ask yourself in the morning times that I've preached for years, how many bonds do we want to write a day?
One a day.
Man, one day. How are you gonna write that one bond a day?
It's your phone.
I probably have me in office. I probably make sure it's Google verified. I'd probably be in court. I'd find a way to make myself to be at the jail. You with me? That's where are the fish? They're in the pond. Where's our pond? It's either at the courthouse or at the jail. That's the program. Now, who in the room thinks they understand and they know everything I talked about this morning?
You don't.
Everybody good with the laws? Say yes.
Yes.
You understand that we are to give a document that says how much we can actually charge to the defendant. You're gonna bring that and put it in the packet and send it back to the office. It's gonna get filed on the paperwork. We understand that we can have an opportunity to get relieved of bonds if we get lots of information and we make notations in bail books. We know that for you all, if you want this to be easy on y'all every 3 months, you're gonna put your shit in bail books. If you don't, you're gonna scrounge around, figure out how many bonds you wrote. The clerk's gonna turn your ass in because she don't like you over there in Washington County. And then they're gonna call the revenue, they're gonna call me, compare and contrast. If they're wrong, then you're fucked. And so am I. So 2 weeks, Jen, before these 4 dates, Curtis, we want to get with our agents in check. I mean, especially this first deal in October, man. Right now is us, okay? So tomorrow morning, semi-annual reports. What do you think I'm getting ready to ask you to do? Court clerk reports in every single county you find in. That's what the judge is gonna look at. There's books out on the table. They're gonna ask me and our company to fill them out and to identify every bond that was written by y'all. Where am I gonna find that? And when I hit print and I put them side by side, bail books, clerk's report for active bonds, because that's what the code section says, what should occur. That's right. What's the one reason they wouldn't match? Either A, you wrote a bond and you didn't put it in and you're gonna be caught on the revenue side, or B, you didn't go to court and you didn't do what we've asked you to do and you didn't discharge. If you don't want to discharge your paperwork, I've already told you, and we're getting ready to talk about it, please don't open them up. I've got your contracts here today. Nothing is changed. Please don't look at them. Don't get them out. Don't look at them, because y'all need to understand what you're getting ready to sign. Y'all have a choice today. If you want to be 37.5, do your damn paperwork. That means discharge. That means enter your bonds. That means do everything that you're supposed to do as a bail agent. If you don't want to do that, Or if you don't wanna do it, you get 37.5. If you don't wanna do your damn work, then you go down to 35%. I've gotta pay somebody to do your damn work. So when you get in your independent contractor agreement, over to the page where it's, don't turn yet, where it says what's your percentage, as long as you are good with doing what I've asked you to do, your percentage will not change. Keep it the same. But if you want to be honest, and you're asking Carmen out there to do your work, just write in 35%. Because I'm tired of doing the work for you. And I believe it's going to be on the very, receive commission, it is. It's going to be on the very last page. I want you to sign this. I want you to turn them, put them down. The contract's exactly the same as the last one. Feel free to read it. I don't care. I'll tell you the biggest sticky points in there. It's going to be a non-disclosure. If you leave, don't talk shit about me, your fellow agents, your fellow board structure. Next thing is a non-compete. If you don't like the non-compete, you can quit today. No harm, no foul. You can't do shit for 2 years. If you don't believe me, ask Shelley. She's down in the 17th Judicial District, and I'm getting ready to win my 5th case down there for a non-compete. So, just however you want to do it, I really don't care. I like Huntsman, y'all like money, we seem to have a good agreement.